so it's taking too long. Shit, I didn't join this track. This is a nightmare, man. I didn't join it. Oh, come on now. Did it start?
They did start.
So what are they doing? Okay. You know what? I think it's better to leave it to you because I didn't get the entry to the lobby. So yeah, have fun.
Alright, I'll see you then.
Alright, mate.
Massive shitstorm that's going on. Okay, everyone. How's everyone doing? My name is 8 Cylinders of Fury. I'm just going to go ahead and mute our in-game chat there for a second. Just for a second. I'm just going to mute our in-game chat so I can talk to you guys for a second here. Welcome to RRL Season 1. Race should be 8 or 7. Not entirely sure there. But then, welcome to the stream. Just checking to make sure audio is strong. It should be. Okay, so before we start qualifying, I should just welcome everyone today. Unfortunately, it is just me today. So you're not going to have much variation in commentary. It's just going to be my voice over and over again. But before we head into the qualifying, let's have a quick
Guess who's on pole?
yes! Stream now, and let's go on to everyone here. Let's turn down audio output capture. Let's turn on desktop audio so that you guys can hear me a little bit better. Turn down audio here. So this time we have a couple of new drivers. I think it should be important to note that we have a couple of new drivers this time around. Pay attention to Altair. Go ahead and get the camera mode changed up here. Unfortunately, since Walter isn't streaming today, I don't have the HUD option. So again, guys are going to have to make do with in-game telemetry for this race. But this will all be sorted out next time around. So we're going to have fastest gap to leader as our detail here. We're going to have the best tire. And okay, let's go ahead and save that. So we have a couple of new drivers this time around. We have Punish, we also have Altair. I'm not entirely sure if these are new drivers or old drivers with new names, but Punish and Altair are two new drivers. We also have some familiar names, obviously. As you guys can see, a lot of our grid has returned this time around. We're a little late to qualifying. It's 18 minutes of qualifying, but obviously some drivers have put laps already. Chris Bai put in a lap, a 1 minute 32.314. Good lap there. He seems to be clearly faster than everyone else because the next fastest lap is 2 seconds slower. But I'm probably guessing that means the other drivers are not on fast laps yet. Let's go to someone who's on their fast lap. All right, Prophet is on his fast lap here, coming into the penultimate corner and diving into the pits there. So who are your drivers to watch out for? Well, obviously Anirudh this race again, he has been in red hot form. Dylan and False RU in the two Williams drivers both picked up points in the last race, which is absolutely insane. Williams drivers picking up points in F1, absolutely fantastic. But I don't think Dylan is on his fast lap here. No, he isn't. Drivers are stacking up well, stacking up nice and cleanly. Let's see if any other drivers on their fast lap. Yes, Freeman is on his fast lap here, starting his fast lap. Let's ride on board with IRC Freeman. Stream is going good. I'm just going to turn down the stream so I know when it stops or whatever. But on board here with IRC Freeman, seems to have kept it very, very clean through the first sector here. Hide everything as we go on board IRC Freeman. Very nice entry there into the long DRS straight. I think this might be the main overtaking point for a lot of drivers. A very, very long straight leading down into a heavy braking section right there. Turn in. It's kind of hairpin-esque corner, fairly low radius turn in. You can take numerous lines through that corner actually, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers tackle that one. Let's bring all our HUDs back. So apparently Chris Bai topping this session with a 1 minute 32.314. Not entirely sure if Chris Bai is just the man to beat for this server, or the session I should say. Oh, massive corner cut there from Freeman. A lot of sunlight, as you can see, coming into the last corner. Those using the racing line will be a little handicapped because of that. Freeman goes 1 minute 34 almost, still nearly 2 seconds behind Chris Bai, who currently seems to be just idling, actually I should say, in first place. Doesn't seem to be putting up much, no other driver seems to be putting up that much of a competition. I don't know if the other drivers haven't gone. Well, the Rrl SD has set his fastest lap on the hard tires, so has Anirudh. But right now Anirudh's on the medium tires. He's on his fast lap as well now, so let's keep an eye on him. Any other drivers on their fast lap? Electrip on his slow lap, just choosing to use all the available runoff area to that'll be looked at by the that'll be looked at later by the stewards. He's just parked it right there on the track. The rules have been specified that when you're not on a flying lap, you should ideally be on the slow line. You should not be using DRS and whatnot. Let's go back on board here with Anirudh coming into the second sector here. Long DRS back straight. A couple of drivers joining in a little later in the session. Very smooth driver. Anirudh, one of the many drivers who uses a wheel on this league, obviously. A couple of drivers have not set for any sort of lap yet. Maranello currently on the Oh, Maranello has started his flying lap now. He is on his flying lap. I think we should do him some justice. Our championship winner, I should say. We should do him some justice and ride on board with Maranello. Very, very sunny. Look at all that bloom. Hashtag bloom gang. Hashtag big GPU gang. A little bit of lag coming on the back straight. A little bit of jumping around. But coming down to the braking zone here. Very nicely negotiated. You may hear my PC in the background. Pay no attention. It's quite a loud GPU, but it gets the job done, so it's fine. I have to say though, Kota in recent years, I've personally gained a lot of liking for this track after struggling with it initially, but once you learn it, it's a really nice track. Coming through the final sector here, coming through the penultimate corner, now going into the final corner. Very cleanly taken there. Let's bring up our telemetry. That puts Maranello baby on pole. 1 minute 31.014 with 6 minutes left in the session. Provisional pole belongs to the man in the Renault. The blistering hot form of Maranello baby continues into Kota qualifying. Circuit of the Americas proving to be yet another stomping ground for Maranello baby, I should say. Prix, who seemed to be dominating the session until now, is currently sitting in second place. Probably thought that his qualifying session won't be touched, but obviously it's been completely splashed by Maranello baby. Anirudh, who was on the medium tyres, is still on the medium tyres. Has he not set a fast lap yet? I don't think he has. Let's see where this lap will put in. 1 minute 25 coming across the penultimate corner. 1 minute 31 to beat, and I do not think that he will be able to beat that. Well. Where does that put Anirudh? Third place, respectable lap. It won't be able to beat our pole sitter nearly 3 seconds slower than Maranello baby. At this point, Maranello is just showing off to the rest of the league. Look at me, guys. I'm out ahead of everyone by nearly 2 seconds. This is like that Senna lap at Monaco in 1988, I believe. Or, yeah, he beat Prost by nearly a second and a half, which is a mammoth lap from Maranello baby. Well, mammoth lap from Senna, and also a mammoth lap from Maranello baby, excuse me. Captain Cheesecake moves up to third position after briefly displacing Anirudh. He is now on provisional podium. That's not a word, but oh well, we'll roll with it. Profit 133, bringing up 6th place, just behind IRC Freeman, who retired from the session after putting in a half-decent lap to put him in 5th place right now. IRC No More PP, currently sitting in 7th place, and the Rrl SD, a former associate of Maranello baby on a separate league, is now sitting in 8th position. Altair, one of our new guys, is sitting in 9th, and Tanish is sitting in 10th, also from IRC. Electric, currently sitting in 11th place. Dylan sitting in 11th place as well. Maranello baby disqualified from the session, but I would not rule that out as coincidental. Maranello has this habit of absolutely trashing everyone on a quick lap during qualifying, but he never ever starts in the top 10. He just likes a challenge. He likes to challenge. The man likes a challenge. The man likes to dominate. The man likes to put on a show. So he is currently starting in 16th place after disqualifying himself from the session. Altair left the session there, but Chris By currently our pole sitter then, because Maranello has been disqualified, obviously. But let's see if any other drivers on their fast lap. IRC No More PP currently on a fast lap as well. Sorry for that brief hiccup in the stream. Had to sort out an issue. Issue has been sorted. It's related to my PC, unfortunately, but riding on board here with the no more PP puts it in 6th place in the end. No real change to his lap time. 2 minutes left in qualifying. Let's see if any other driver on that fast lap. Rrl S1 currently on his fast lap using only 3 ERS, now moving up to 5 ERS, back down to 3 ERS. A lot of ERS engagement going on here, heading into the second sector here, as Vortex joins in on the session. Maybe we could see a last-ditch Vortex lap. We have only 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the session. Can we see Vortex joining in and putting in a lap? Maybe it's not entirely possible, but we could maybe see Vortex putting in a lap. Coming up to the last minute of qualifying here. Right now, the qualifying order is as stands. Chris By, Captain Cheesecake, and Anirudh, the top 3 drivers in the session. Because Maranello Baby, who was our pole sitter by quite a margin, nearly 1.2 seconds, is now been disqualified from the session because man likes to put on a show. Oh, the Rrl SD moves up to 2nd place with an absolutely mega lap. A 1 minute 33.2 roughly. Well, let's just, why are we even bothering? Let's just change the detail to fastest lap. Simple. And then we have the fastest lap of each driver. Unfortunately, there's no options right now to alternate between the two, but there you go. 15 seconds left in the session. The Rrl SD is on another flying lap. IRC, no more PP, also on another flying lap. Seems to be struggling with his ERS though. Electrip on his out lap, now on his flying lap. Will he be able to get the he will be able to get a lap in. Absolutely fantastic. G Chroma also currently on a flying lap heading through sector 3 now, the beginning of sector 3 I should say. Keep an eye on these 4 drivers. Rrl SD now the closest I would say to finishing his lap, or is it no more PP? No, definitely Rrl SD the closest to finishing his lap now. Let's go on board with him. Electric retires from the session, chooses not to complete his flying lap as the Rrl SD goes across the line. Does not improve on his, well, improves on his time marginally, but does not displace Chris By from the provisional pole position, which seems all but confirmed at this point. Let's go on board IRC, no more PP, who is also coming in through the final sector here. Faizan, Faizan, okay. Faizan is still on his flying lap. No, he isn't, as I guess that is the end of the session. No more PP also comes across the line, and that is the end of the qualifying session. It was a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? It was a little bit of a cluster something. Unable to get the stream started on time, and then the qualifying itself was very, very hectic. But that is your qualifying order as it stands. Chris By in the Haas takes pole position at the United States Grand Prix. Short qualifying. The Rrl SD in the McLaren picking up a 2nd place. First row start going into the race. G Chroma absolutely mega lap in the final seconds of the session. Manages to make it into the top 3, and we'll have a better lineup of the grid order as we head into the race. Yes. Hello, Vortex. How are you doing? Well, more people can't make things more boring. I don't know how that works, but definitely will be an interesting stream. So far, a little update on qualifying. Maranello Baby stormed to pole position, 1.3 seconds clear of the rest of the field, but decided to disqualify himself in the usual Maranello manner. So provisional pole position goes to Chris Bai, who topped the timing charts at the end of the session. Anirudh, another one of our championship contenders, is in 4th position behind G Chroma and Captain Cheesecake, both Alfa Romeos making it into the top 3. Absolutely mega laps from both of them. And Rrl SD, I think, was in second position. Rrl SD, 3rd and 4th, G Chroma and Captain Cheesecake. But the session is about to get underway right now. Session starts in 1 second. There we go. Should be on our formation lap here. Are you able to look at the stream? I'm sorry. Are you able to look at the? Are you in spectator mode? Beautiful. Shouldn't be. Okay, so small problem. The problem is on stream. I can't hear you. I can just hear myself. So I'm going to have to sort that out. Okay, OBS. Yep. All right. Sorting it out. It's time to stop over. So I would just suggest that you keep talking actually, just for the next 20 to 30 seconds. So actually, I can figure out whether I are. Okay, so I should let everyone know on stream right now that unfortunately, and I should apologize to Vortex as well, because he's been talking for the last 2 minutes about Formation Lab and a lot of cool shit, but unfortunately OBS is being very, very annoying and I can't seem to get Vortex on the stream. So I'm very sorry, Vortex. I can only apologize to you on the Discord chat right now because the rest of the stream can't hear you. Alright, so that's beautiful. Vortex has just told me that he will share snippets as the race goes on so that we can immediately jump to the exciting events as they unfold. But 5 red lights. And away we go here at the beginning of the United States Grand Prix. Chris Bai gets a fantastic start heading up into turn 1. Nice wide line, trying to be very conservative with the cars coming behind him. Everybody gets through the first turn cleanly enough. Couple of position changes immediately. G Chroma jumping past his teammate, heading into the fast S's. This will be where the good... Oh dear, Altair has spun. He has dropped to last position. Chris Bai seems to have gotten a mega getaway. He's nearly 6/10 clear after the S's. I was just going to say the S's are going to be where this race is decided, because some drivers get it absolutely right, as some of the better drivers on this server, on this league will tell you, and the idiots like me fuck up the S's every single time we drive through. So mostly what it comes down to is consistency in the S's, I should say. But Chris Bye now pulling away like a freight train, nearly a second clear of Rrl SD, already putting him past DRS range after, well, not even half a lap. We're only heading into the third sector now. Interesting sector. It's a combination of both low speed and high speed corners. I think Circuit of the Americas as a whole is a track that consists of high speed and low speed sections, so it's important to get a balance in your setup that allows you to not only maximize your pace throughout the track but also to manage tire wear effectively. Let's talk about some of the position changes. Let me get the telemetry up here so that you guys have an idea of what is going on. A full track map has been enabled, lap data and telemetry as well. So we will have interval as our gap so that when we... Let's go on board with Anirudh and Profit. Anirudh seems to get the overtake done on the Red Bull, zooms past him on the main straight. Profit also using 5 ERS. Another overtake right behind them. Freeman and no more PP tussling it out for track position going into the first sector here. It'll all depend on who gets the better line, because as long as you can carry the maximum amount of pace without compromising lateral grip, you should be a good chance of getting some time on the driver ahead. Profit and Anirudh still bumper to bumper with each other. Electric also giving Profit a knock on the door there, letting him know, yoo-hoo, I'm home, let's get this race going. Electric will look to dive down the inside here, chooses not to do so, playing it very conservative. Ooh, nearly gets done up the rear by no more PP as a Mercedes drives very wide. It's Vortex's former teammate Faizan getting all sorts of wiggly and jiggly on the grass. But interesting race start here. But mainly we should talk about Maranello Baby, who's made up 4 positions. Correction, makes up 5 positions as he gets an overtake done on Tanish, one of our newer drivers, going into sector 3 now. Any other position change? Electric makes up 4 positions in the Force India. Absolutely mega drive from him so far, as his teammate Tanish has actually dropped down 3 positions from 10th place now, currently finding himself in 13th place, only ahead of the 2 Williams and the Toro Rosso of Altair, who's Assassin's Creed reference, if anyone is wondering. Chris Bye currently finding himself 1 second clear, shouldn't be under the threat of DRS, no, definitely not. G Chroma now dropping back steadily at 1.5 seconds away from the Rrl SD now. Going on board with Electric, getting the overtake done on Profit, 1-3-3 here. Yep, Electric making it pop. Maranello Baby navigating through the traffic here. Ooh, Profit going wide, going into the S's. No more PP also disconnecting. It's 3 wide. It's 3 wide going into the S. Oh no, Profit has dropped back slightly. Oh, and no more PP. Almost spins out, loses some front wing elements there. Loses his end plate on the right hand side. But Maranello Baby getting past in a tight part of the track, but some wheel-to-wheel action there between the two. Behind them, literally 4 cars in a DRS train here. Very interesting racing. This will be very interesting going into the braking zone here. How many drivers are there? Nearly 4 drivers, 5 drivers. Overtakes coming all here. Look at this. 4 drivers, IRC, no more PP, Profit 133, Faizan, and the McLaren of, I think it's Freeman, it is. Faizan gets spun around, drops almost to last position, finds himself very well acquainted here with Dylan, a once challenger of his in these races. Going on board with SD here as he inherits the race lead from Chris Bye on the main straight. Gets the overtake done with DRS. Apparently, Chris Bye not able to keep up his pace long enough to keep off the Rrl SD from getting within DRS range. On the attack, SD takes the lead. G Chroma also closing up, it seems, on the front runners. Anirudh also making up good positions, currently in 4th position, but he is not that far ahead of Captain Cheesecake, who makes a mistake going into the S, as you briefly saw there. in the cinematic camera as he spun off a little bit. As no more PP, no more pro player picks up a 3-second time penalty. Faizan also picks up a 3-second time penalty. Dylan picks up a 3-second time penalty, all within close proximity of each other. But keep an eye out on Maranello, who has made up 10 positions in under 4 laps, with nearly 24 laps of racing left to go. Electric also seems to be doing a good job. Going on board with IRC Freeman here. Will he get the overtake done? Ooh, almost getting the overtake done here on IRC. No more PP. All sorts of lag in action here. Will he get the overtake done? Profit glitching ahead, then glitching behind, then glitching back ahead, and then behind again. I think he's got the overtake done. He has got the overtake done on Profit 133. Profit drops to 10th place, the last points position, as Freeman moves up to 9th position, which will help out McLaren greatly in the Constructors' Championship, as his teammate is now currently sitting in first position. Altair on the diffuser of Profit 133 here. It'll depend upon whether Profit can get a good line through this corner. Doesn't seem to do so. Gets a questionable exit. Ooh, just about manages to keep his position, but runs wide on the penultimate corner. Will Altair get the overtake done here? Locks up into the final corner. They touch wheels briefly, but Altair will have DRS heading onto the bait straight here. Profit also will have DRS on Freeman ahead of him. Position changes behind him as Altair and Ninja Zero fighting it out for position. Ninja Zero, massive dive bomb up the inside. Will he get it done on 2 cars? He will. No, he won't. Profit 133 gets a brief cutback. Lots of lag on effect here. We will have to see. No, Ninja Zero stays ahead of both drivers. Massive lunge going into the first corner. Gets it done effectively. Altair has spun out going into the S's. Massive spin for him. That drops him into 14th place, which really leaves you believing, where is Dylan and where are Tanish? Tanish and Dylan both currently sitting in 15th and 16th place in the classifications. Tanish struggling on the hard tyres here. Dylan ahead of him on the soft tyres, but currently finding himself in 15th place. Altair's connection seems to be very unstable, dropping out between ghosting and back into the race. But we will stay updated on those positions. Let's see if any other drivers are currently mounting an overtake. All the drivers are very, very close to each other. Electrip and Captain Cheesecake look to be embroiled in the next battle coming into Sector 3 here. Moving on board with Freeman and no more PP. Will no more PP get the overtake done up the inside? Tries it, goes for it. Heading into Sector 3. Now Tanish gets a 3-second time penalty, but we will come back to that in a second, as no more PP and Freeman are right close up with each other. The Husky Chocolate on the rear wing of the McLaren in clear vision here for no more PP, who will look to get the overtake done on the main straight. Freeman won't have DRS from any driver in front of him. No more PP mounting up the overtake. The silver nose of the silver arrow closing in on the McLaren. Oh, nearly gets it done, but just doesn't have enough space to send it up the inside. Very, very defensive. Anirudh picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Electric seems to have got the overtake. Electric and Captain Cheesecake currently going at it as well. No more PP and Freeman right behind them. So those 4 positions from 6th to 10th are still hotly contested between all the drivers. We'll have to apologize to everyone on stream. It's just me, unfortunately, this week. Hopefully, me and Walter will work on some of the OBS settings, and we will try to get the stream back up and running as we go on board with Anirudh here, getting the overtake done on G Chroma. Just locks up a bit going into the turn, into the hairpin. Will he get the overtake done here? No, gets ghosted. That's a little bit of lag there as well. Going on board with Anirudh here. Ooh, he seems to be right up on G Chroma. I make a correction. 4th to 10th place is still up for grabs for any driver who gets their laps consistent and fast and gets a nice stretch of clean air. Oh, Maranello, baby. Also looking to get the overtake done here on Anirudh. Ooh, his driver is waving his hands in frustration as Anirudh dives into the pits, and Maranello, baby, inherits 4th place in this race, and also may inherit 3rd place in this race as we go into the main straight here. Pit straight. Tries to get the overtake done on G Chroma, but too far back. Captain Cheesecake also makes up a position on Anirudh. Anirudh now dropping down the order because he's pitting. Anirudh has pit onto He has pitted onto the medium tyre, serving a penalty, a 3-second time penalty, maybe in the pits. A lot of drivers have now overtaken Anirudh. The next battle here is between Faizan and Profit. Profit playing on keyboard, I think, very WASD driving style there. Let's check out all our intervals. Oh, no more PP and Freeman seems to be the next hottest battle. Just 0.7 of a second separating the both of them, which means no more PP is within DRS if you can get it up, if you can get the overtake mounted on the back straight here, coming up to the back straight. Very important to get your braking right. Can he get a good exit on Freeman? Yes, he can. Freeman running wide. No more PP. If he gets DRS here, we'll have a mega chance of overtaking Freeman. DRS open, ERS into 4. Fuel will be in rich mode here as Freeman and no more PP. Freeman, no more PP closing in, but not able to close in enough to get the overtake done. Freeman stays ahead, but only marginally ahead. Only 0.2 of a second separating the two drivers now. You may hear some birds in the background. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. Could say that I'm a very nature elevator. That's not the problem right now. As IRC no more PP right still on Freeman's diffuser, not giving him a second to breathe here. Ninja Zero also eyeing up the two of them as IRC no more PP, DRS open. Will he get the overtake done here? Going into turn number 1, weaving, but not able to close up to Freeman again. First sector will have to be the deciding factor here. If one of them can get a better line than the other driver, then that driver, of course, will benefit from the extra time gained. Ninja Zero also close behind. Profit and Faizan also still within 0.8 of each other. Anirudh now finds himself in 13th place. Right now he is on the hard tyres, but the only way he'll really see positions change is if the drivers ahead of him pit. Closing up very much to false RU here. Let's see if Anirudh can get the overtake done going into sector 2. Ooh, almost getting the overtake done here. False RU very slow ahead of him. He should just move out the way, honestly. Holding up the faster driver here. Anirudh moves out of the slipstream, heading into the braking zone. Gets the overtake done in mega fashion. Nice one there, Anirudh. Now has his eyes firmly set on Tunish. Let's look at the no more PP battle with Freeman. No more PP still finding himself behind Freeman, coming into the final sector here. Going into the fast right-hander. It'll be very interesting to see just how will Freeman defend his position now. Will Freeman dive into the pits? Feints a move to dive into the pits, but chooses not to dive into the pits, obviously. Stream is going strong. No more PP, not able to make up much time on Freeman, even though he has got DRS. Let's have a look at lap faster. Let's have a look at the tyre conditions of everyone here. Interval position change. Now let's look at tyres. So right now, the leaders, the top 7 drivers are all on the tyres that they started on, all running on 8 lap old mediums. Chris Bye running on 0 lap old hard tyres. Someone behind him has a pit, obviously, and he's finds himself at 8th position on brand new hard tyres, I should say. Another driver who has just pit, I think, as false RU. He's pitted to a set of soft tyres after coming out of the pits. He's immediately on the attack from Altair, who seems to be setting fastest laps while being last. I don't know how that works, but it'll be interesting to see his pace going into the latter half of this race. Anirudh, who pitted on early to a set of hard tyres, now finds himself in 11th position. Tunish right behind him on an 8-lap old hard. He started the race on the hards, mind you, so he should be good for another I should say 10, 12 laps. That's if he wants to get on a faster tyre towards the end of the race. Probably a soft tyre for the last 8 or so laps would be an ideal strategy. Anirudh now eyeing up an overtake on Profit, who seems to be going very slow on the faster and worn tyres. And that will effectively move Anirudh up into top 10 easily. Maranello closing in on the Rrl SD at a rate of 1 second a lap here. A guy who started in 16th place, having made up 14 positions, or 15 positions I should say, currently sitting in 2nd place. He's catching Rrl SD like the Rrl SD is standing still. The Renault is not that overpowered against the McLaren in real life, surely. As Chris By is highlighted here, there's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Some driver seems to have made a mistake. Is it electric? No. So one driver seems to have dipped 2 wheels on the gravel, or dipped 2 wheels outside the track, and immediately the yellow flag comes up. A couple of drivers pitting here. Dylan, Tunish, and Captain Cheesecake all pitting. Captain Cheesecake also going for a replacement front wing. Captain Cheesecake pits to the soft tyres, Tunish pits to the medium tyres, and Dylan pits to the medium tyres as well. As Ninja Zero seems to have get an overtake done on Electric here. Very clean overtake there. Didn't see much of it, but Ninja Zero seems to have got the overtake done in convincing fashion, because he is ahead of Electric going into sector 3. What is happening between No More PP and Freeman? No More PP and Freeman still separated by 1.1 seconds, so the overtake is still not happening between them. But now No More PP has a lot more to think about, because Ninja Zero is closing in on them at a rapid rate. Seems to be carrying a lot more pace than the 2 drivers ahead of him. Electric also seems to want to mount the overtake, tries to go up the inside, and Electric gets a 3-second time penalty. Very, very risky there. Tunish has spun out. He's currently in 15th place. He spun out. He's now dead last. How he will recover from this, I do not know. But Tunish has spun out in the Force India on the back straight. Position change there between Anirudh and Faizan. Anirudh gets the overtake done on Faizan. Faizan is right on his tail, though. He'll be looking to give Anirudh something to think about going into the first sector here. Fast S's. Faizan not able to carry as much speed through the S's as Anirudh. Anirudh keeping his steering input very, very smooth. Helicopter cam also capturing this as we speak. Anirudh very smooth through the first sector there, keeping it very clean, maximizing his corner speeds, apex speeds as well. Faizan has been convincingly overtaken. Interesting thing to note though, G Chroma on a set of soft tyres is currently on 10 laps. Him and Faizan are the only drivers who are on the softest tyre, I should say, or the one with the most grip, but haven't pitted yet. All the other drivers who were started on the soft tyres have already pitted for slower tyres. Position change between Ninja Zero, Chris By and Electric. I think Chris By got the overtake done on Electric there. Good overtake there from Chris By. Chris By will now look to attack Ninja Zero ahead of him. Ninja Zero will look to attack No More PP and Freeman, who are still going at it after nearly 12 laps. Can No More PP get the overtake done? Who gets a questionable exit out of the final corner there. No, he will not have enough to get it done. He has maximum ERS, not sure exactly why he's not using it. Some overtakes getting done. Rrl SD, the race leader, pits onto a set of hard tyres, comes out in 8th position. He will have a real task on his hands. Maranello, 11 seconds. Maranello was 11 seconds ahead now. Maranello nearly 24 seconds ahead of IRC. Freeman now. So we're cruising, literally cruising. If he pits onto a set of soft tyres or hard tyres, he will run away with this race victory once again in a typical Maranello fashion. Captain Cheesecake picks up a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. Kota seems to be very strict with its corner cutting penalties, so it's very harsh. Ooh, well, this battle... Oh, Chris By gets the overtake done on Ninja Zero. I was paying attention to the No More PP and Freeman battle, but Chris By gets an overtake done in fantastic fashion there on the back straight. Gets it done, heading now into Sector 3. There's a train of 4 cars. Freeman, No More PP, Chris By, Ninja Zero, maybe Electric as well. A train of 5 cars going down from 2nd to 6th place, all tussling for track position. As a driver runs wide, No More PP might have run wide there as Chris By closes up to him. Altair and Profit, another battle. Altair gets the overtake done on Profit, I think. Yes, just about gets it done. Altair now has Faizan in his sights, but good overtake there. As Rrl SD picks up a 3-second time penalty, but we're going back to the battle here between No More PP, Freeman, Chris By, Ninja Zero and Electrip. As Ninja Zero gets ahead of Electrip, I think this is just a lot of lag in play here. Anirudh overtakes the Rrl SD. Yes, Anirudh gets the overtake done on the Rrl SD, but I think he was ahead the whole time. I think that's just lag once again playing a massive part. This is the battle, though, to be watching out for. A battle involving a train of 4 cars, all within, well, just a couple of seconds of each other. As Chris By moving out of the slipstream, just almost teasing a move there. But here is where it'll make a difference. Chris By will he get DRS? He will get DRS and No More PP, but No More PP will get DRS from Freeman ahead of him. Ninja Zero won't get DRS, so he's 1 second behind. But will No More PP get the overtake done on Freeman here? No, still behind Freeman. SD and Anirudh also getting tussle in a battle here between them. Ooh, Anirudh tries to get it done up the inside. Very clean racing, boys. Let's keep it that way for the rest of this race. Anirudh in the number 19 Toro Rosso. Will he get the overtake done up the inside of SD here? No, SD keeps the outside line. Anirudh has to give up the position. Almost had the overtake done, though. He could have bullied SD a little bit onto the runoff region, but chooses not to. Altair and Faizan tussling with each other. Faizan still manages to keep track position, though, but they are also closing up on each other as Electric overtakes Ninja Zero. Ninja Zero does pit, though, but technically it doesn't count as an overtake, but Electric does move into Ninja Zero's position. As Chris By is now on the attack of IRC No More PP as well as IRC Freeman. Both of them on 13-lap old tyres are losing time here to Chris By, who seems to be primed to pick up the second place position here from both of these drivers. Not carrying nearly enough pace, through the first sector here. Anirudh picks up another 3-second time penalty. A lot of penalties being dished out even to the veteran drivers this time around. We are halfway through the race here, and as the race standings currently stand, Freeman nearly 28 seconds. Faizan on Altair here, we briefly saw it on the timing tree there. Faizan is behind Altair, and Altair showing his pace on the soft tyres, getting the overtake done. Oh, Chris By closing up all the way to No More PP. 3 drivers here, very, very close to each other. As he gets the overtake done around the outside of No More PP, he now has the inside line. Brilliant overtake there from Chris By. Brilliant overtake in the number 46 Haas of Chris By on No More PP in the Mercedes. Well, he's on clearly much newer tyres. Yes, the hard tyres don't really have much of a grip advantage when compared to the medium tyres, but he's on much newer tyres, which helps him. He will now also look to get the overtake done on the McLaren of Freeman for second place in this race. Let's see if he can get it done here. No, he can't. A little bit behind Freeman, but he clearly has the pace advantage in the first sector, so he will close up literally front wing to diffuser at the end of the S's. No More PP slowly dropping back now. This is the battle to be keeping an eye on right now. Altair and Faizan also separated by only 0.6 of a second. We will go to that battle in a second here. Altair gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Clearly under pressure here, or clearly pressured to make the overtake on Faizan. Faizan slips ahead. And Altair pits for, well, he's pitting from the soft tyres, so we will see what he pits to. Chris By has DRS here. Captain Cheesecake and Dylan getting embroiled in a battle here on the pit straight. Who will have DRS? It will be Captain Cheesecake because he entered the detection zone. Oh, both of them are coming out right near Altair. This will be an interesting battle. Captain Cheesecake looking to mount an overtake on Altair, who is on a new set of medium tires. Okay. He should be able to run with that until the end of the race. Altair's pit strategy effectively complete, unless, of course, a safety car or something comes out towards the latter half of this race. Doesn't seem likely, though, because this track doesn't really have many dangerous parts where you can crash or anything. I mean, only if the drivers retire right in the middle of the track will we have a safety car at this point. But oh, Rrl SD and Electric also only separated by 5 tenths of a second. We will keep an eye on that battle as well. Prix and Freeman still tussling, heading into lap number 16. But I think we all should give some credit here to Maranello Baby, who's pulled out a 31-second lead. Prix gets the overtake done on Freeman. Freeman makes a mistake going into the first sector, and Prix maximizes that and inherits second position from IRC Freeman. Keep in mind that Prix is on much newer tires as well, as Electric and the Rrl SD getting embroiled in a battle here as well, getting very, very close to each other. Only 5 tenths of a second here, but I think Rrl SD will get DRS. Yes, he will. DRS open. ERS into mode 5, closing up rapidly. Will he get the overtake done? Up the inside, moves out to the slipstream, convincingly gets the overtake done. P6 now belongs to the McLaren of Rrl SD. Anirudh also, right on the back of this little train here, could get the overtake done on Electric. Seems to be carrying a lot more pace. Up the inside, holds back briefly, just locks up the inside left tyre going into the off-camber braking zone. Very fast right-hander. You can see the grip advantage that Anirudh Torosso has over Electric's Force India, or I should say Racing Point rather. Electric dives into the pits. Anirudh inherits P7 as G Chroma and No More PP dives into the pits here. So G Chroma and the Rrl SD both move up. Anirudh moves up into 6th place as well. Electric also dives. Electric still in the pits, I should say, going on to a set of soft tires. He will look to have maximum pace and maximum attack in the latter half of this race. Okay, so that pit window seems to have distanced all our drivers. Oh, I take that back actually. Ninja Zero and Electric now once again embroiled in a little battle here, as Electric comes out very, very near to Ninja Zero. A lot of drivers picking up penalties, you can see at the bottom of your screen. G Chroma and Freeman. Ooh, G Chroma seems to have DRS on the Freeman here. IRC Freeman. G Chroma moves to the outside. Freeman guarding his inside line. Ooh, that will be one for the stewards to look at. Freeman choosing to shunt G Chroma up the inside, managing to keep the position after G Chroma briefly got ahead of him before the braking zone. This is a battle that you have to keep an eye on as well going into this final sector here. Ooh, Rrl SD, or I should say G Chroma, having much better grip here, obviously, as he's on much newer tires, and IRC Freeman pits. G Chroma should be moving up into 3rd place. Yes, he does. Rrl SD moves up into 4th, and Freeman drops down the order. Anirudh should also take the position here. Yes, he will, but will he? Someone has spun out here. Danish in last place seems to have spun out yet again, going into sector 2. Altair going on board Altair here. He seems to be getting the overtake done on false RU. Ooh, almost getting the overtake done on false RU. Has the outside line going into the long right-hander, but by retaining the outside line, he'll have the inside line going into the next corner. Does he get the overtake done? He does in stupendous fashion. Brilliant overtake there from Altair on false RU. He seems to be on much older tires. False RU now dives into the pits. All the drivers have distanced themselves a bit now. The next battle should be between IRC Freeman and Ninja Zero. And Electric, I should say, but Electric has pulled a slight gap because Ninja Zero is now defending from IRC Freeman. Thanos has crashed in the pit lane. Well, that is interesting. Thanos has crashed in the pit lane. Vortex has just told me. He also is helping me out on this stream, so big thanks to Vortex for keeping me up to date with all the action. There's a lot of action that gets missed. Ninja Zero and IRC Freeman, only 0.3 of a second separating the two of them. Freeman is trying to get it done out the outside. Will he switch it up to the inside? Yes, he will. Brilliant cutback by the Freeman there. What an overtake from Freeman. Gets it done on Ninja Zero in magnificent fashion. What an overtake that was. Feints to the outside, cuts to the inside at the last moment, and gets a brilliant little cutback there. Absolutely fantastic overtake from the Freeman. Very, very smart driving from him. Gets the overtake done on Ninja Zero. 8th position goes to IRC Freeman. Well, the gap between Rrl SD and G Chroma now under a second. Yes, 0.8 of a second. Very, very close to each other. Rrl SD fighting for a podium position here. But keep in mind that Rrl SD is on a set of hard tyres and G Chroma is on a set of medium tyres. However, the pace difference doesn't seem to be that intense. I mean, both of them are roughly running on the same pace. G Chroma going very, very defensive here, but Rrl SD, massive pace, absolutely blows past Freeman like he's blows past the Rrl SD. Oh, I should say blows past G Chroma like he's standing still. Rrl SD getting the overtake done in magnificent fashion there. Maranello pits. Alright. Maranello, I don't think he pit on this lap because he came out of the pit, came onto the pit straight in the usual manner, but he may have pit a lap earlier. Yes, his tyres are now 1 lap old, so he did pit a lap earlier, but still 17 seconds ahead of the rest of them. Clearly a world-class talent. Maranello baby dominating the race here. The next overtake, the next little bit of action should be between G Chroma and the Rrl SD, only 0.7 of a second separating the two of them. We did see Rrl SD getting the overtake done on G Chroma, but G Chroma seems to want that position back with a little bit of revenge overtaking here. Maybe could be on between those two drivers. Keeping an eye on the rest of the intervals, don't really think any of the other drivers are closing up on anyone. Altair and Profit separated by 1.1 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that battle as well. Dylan starts with a D, gets a 3-second time penalty. So multiple points. We do have a lot of penalties this time around. Well, my microphone is a bit buggy. I will check that out. Stream's looking good, so it might be just a Discord thing. Oh, Altair getting an overtake done here on Profit 133. Getting it done, should get it done. Yes, he does. Into the braking zone, has the inside line, slightly out brakes. Alright. Oh, there's a big battle here between 3 drivers. P14, P13 and P50. Oh, I shouldn't have said it that order, but P13, P14, P50, all 3 of them very, very close to each other. Will Captain Cheesecake get the overtake done here on Dylan? Ooh, switches to the inside at the last minute. Very interesting. I think Dylan may have outbroke himself there. But also, False RU looking to capitalize on this little battle here. Of course, both the Williams will try not to run into each other. But Captain Cheesecake gets the overtake done on Dylan. Oh, some battles forming here between Electric Freeman, Ninja Zero, Electric Freeman, and no more PP, actually, I should say. 3 drivers. No, I thought that Electric tried to go for the overtake there, but he didn't. Oh, now he does. Moves out of the slipstream. He will get DRS. This will be a double overtake. No more PP. He's about to concede 2 positions on a single DRS straight. 3 wide. Will it be 3 wide going at the end of the DRS straight? No, it won't, but will. IRC Freeman makes up 2 positions. Fantastic. And he's going side by side with Electric. But Freeman marginally ahead of Electric going into the next corner. And he has to concede the position as There's a little bit of contact there between Electric and No More PP. Was there? I'm not entirely sure. I think there was contact there, but it might have just been netcode lag as well. But Freebird makes up 2 positions, Electric makes up a single position, and No More PP concedes 2 positions in that little battle right there. Tanish picks up a 3-second time penalty. Tanish was one of the stronger drivers on IRC. Maybe he must have had a very unlucky race today. Currently finding himself in 16th position. He's done a valiant job. I'll respect him that. He's still in 16th place, but he hasn't retired. He hasn't quit. He's still driving. So I can respect that a lot. I definitely don't have the willpower to do that. Once I figure out the race is over, I pretty much just quit and go watch a movie or something. Position change between the 2 Williams drivers. False RU gets an overtake done on his teammate on much, much newer medium tyres. Good team orders there, switching position without causing too much of a delay to either driver. Nice helicopter cam here, showing us the Williams winding through penultimate corner. Ooh, big battle happening here between the Rrl SD and Chris By. Rrl SD 8/10ths behind now, but he will look to get the overtake done on the next DRS straight. He is on marginally newer tyres, 3 laps newer, hard tyres. They are both on hard tyres though. Chris By will look to go on the defensive. Rrl SD getting on the DRS a little later than what he would have liked, but he does close up pretty well to Chris By. Number of lines through the first corner here. He will look to get the maximum amount of time possible through the first sector here though. Very, very fast sector. Quick left-hander, right-hander, left-hander combo, followed by a fairly slow right-hander here. And then we head into the premise of the second sector and the back straight. Interesting section. Definitely one of my personal favorite tracks as well, and I think Vortex was saying earlier, I don't know if you guys can hear him on stream, but he was saying that it's one of his favorite tracks as well. But I think he has the same problem as mine, which is I'm not too great on the track. Ooh, Rrl SD closing up all the way to Chris By, getting a much better exit out or onto the back straight, I should say. Gets the overtake done. Yes, gets the overtake done in convincing fashion, far ahead of Chris By at the end of the DRS straight. No real drama between those two. Rrl SD moves up into second place. Man Oliver, our main man here, nearly 25 seconds clear, 26 seconds clear now at the end of lap 23, moving on to lap 24 now. All the drivers seems to be distancing themselves a bit now. Only Chris By, after just getting overtaken a short while ago, is now within proximity of the Rrl SD, excuse me. It seems to be, Chris By closing in on the Rrl SD. Can he get the overtake done here? A lot of lag, but I think there was a little bit of contact between the two drivers. It'll all depend on who can get a better line through the S's. I think Rrl SD carrying a lot more pace. Chris By just deciding to play it conservative through the S's here. Yep, Rrl SD will keep that position. Chris By only really under threat on the straights when he has his DRS open and ERS of course available to him. He won't have any ERS now, only 13% ERS available to him. He'll turn it up a little bit, but he realizes that he has little ERS and he needs ERS for later on if he comes under attack from any drivers behind him. So I think Rrl SD should keep this position even though he is within DRS attack zone of Chris By. Also, I should say, while there's no real action going on right now and all the pit strategies have been completed, RRL will not end with this race. Now, initially, our calendar did specify that we had 9 races, and this was going to be the season finale at Circuit of the Americas. But now, with an appeal from all the drivers, it has been a mass vote. There has been a majority decision that RL will continue for a minimum of at least 2 races more for now. Of course, we will decide if more races are added in the future, but as of right now, 2 more races definitely will be added to the RRL calendar. Right now, the races briefly being discussed are Spa and Abu Dhabi, but of course, leave your comments in the stream chat and let us know what races you'd like to see our drivers take on. Of course, if you see our community tab, we'll put up a calendar so that you guys know which races have already finished, so that there's no races repeated, obviously, like is happening in real life during the coronavirus pandemic. But it'll be interesting to see all these drivers at the iconic track of Spa. Imagine it's 4 wide through Orud. Well, that's kind of an unrealistic expectation, but it'll be interesting to see just how our drivers gets on with the a challenging track. Spa, I think it looks very deceptively easy. It's just, you know, fast straights and fairly uncomplicated corners. It's not exactly Monaco standards of difficulty, but keep in mind that Spa is still a very difficult track to get 100% right. So it will be interesting to see. We were keeping an eye there, well, I was keeping an eye there on the gap between those 2 drivers, but it seems Stanish has gotten the overtake done between on the Williams, so that splits both of the Williams. Stanish now finds himself in a Williams sandwich. Williams force India Williams going into the last couple of laps of this race, but I think Dylan, his chances of getting an overtake done on Stanish again and regaining 15th place is very, very slim, because he's on 14 lap all medium, so he will look to just finish the race on this set of tyres. Getting DRS there, but it won't really be much of a difference maker. Oh, Chris By on the main straight here, just behind the back markers. You're entering the turn 1 now, but I don't think Chris By will be able to get the overtake done on the Rrl SD. Too far back once again, but he's going to have to make up most of his time in the straight sections, because he seems to be losing time in the S's because his tires do have less grip. Ooh, but running a little bit on the curb there. It's Chris By. Yes, gets a 3-second time penalty. Dylan also getting a 3-second time penalty. Running a bit wide due to the lag there, but I think he kept it pretty clean. Chris By just picking up a penalty, but apart from that, pretty uneventful through that sector. Let's move now to Altair and Faizan. Altair on the main straight, slightly newer tyres, a better amount of ERS. Faizan also having some ERS, but will Altair send it up the inside? No, he doesn't. Chooses to play it fairly safe. They're still very, very close to each other, so keep an eye on this battle. We'll go to cinematic cam here to get some nice shots of the 2 very handsome looking cars. Well, not the Red Bull. I think the Red Bull livery is quite, well, that's not the Red Bull actually, that's the Mercedes. Yes, 2 very handsome cars. The Altair and the Toro Rosso, which will be replaced by the Alpha Tauri livery in F1 2020, which I'm not a big fan of personally. But the very blue Toro Rosso now chasing the very silver Mercedes going into the last couple of laps of this race. I think we're entering lap 27 now as Maranello Baby comes across the line, but these drivers are still on lap 26. Although, something that I've just noticed, Maranello Baby, the gap between him and the Rrl SD has come down massively, and I think that's because Maranello Baby has pitched to another set of soft tyres. The only driver now on his 2nd stop, that is not counting drivers stopping for changing front wings and whatnot, but Maranello Baby now pits again, now only 8 seconds within Rrl SD, but now on the soft tyres, so he should be pulling away like a freight train anytime now. Now the front-running drivers have to deal with a couple of back markers after nearly 27 laps of racing, finally catching up to the back markers. Chris By not really having much of an opportunity now to regain that 2nd position, because he lost to SD a couple of laps earlier, 2.4 seconds behind SD now. But I think that is the final race order as it stands. I think it's confident to say this is how it'll finish. Of course, I'm not going to jinx it, because anything can happen at any point in time. But Maranello now pulling away from the Rrl SD, was 8 seconds, now 10 seconds clear within half a lap. That is the soft advantage over the hard tyres. Let's see if any other overtakes are currently in the midst of happening. I think Faizan is within 1.7 seconds of Altair, the only small gap. Oh, there's also a 1.5 second gap between Falsariu and Tanish, who seems to have got the overtake done on Falsariu as well. Good drive there from Tanish. after a couple of spins, still manages to get into 14th position ahead of the two Williams drivers who've been underwhelming. Unlike last time when they picked up 2 points finishes, it was an incredible moment for RRL. 2 double Williams points finishes, fantastic. But right now, all the drivers are once again distanced themselves, so we'll just ride on board with our race winner, most definitely going to be our race winner this time around. Another absolutely dominating performance from Maranello Baby. Took provisional pole position by nearly 1.3 seconds. And that isn't much of a testament to his time and how much faster than he was, because Chris By himself, who was in second position at the time, was nearly 2 seconds clear of everyone else. Maranello just weaving all over the place, trying to show off a little bit here, a little bit of showmanship there from Maranello. If the season had ended obviously with USGP, as was speculated before, Maranello would have been our out and out champion, but obviously that is not the case now. It doesn't seem like any other driver has a realistic chance of catching Maranello Baby in the latter halves of this championship, but he is most definitely all dominating, all conquering. Lewis Hamilton, hashtag blessed of the RRL server, weaving even before coming onto the pit straight, weaves towards the pits, and Maranello Baby takes the race victory. The all-conquering number 49 Renault comes across the line. Tanish also, because he has finished the race after Maranello crossed the line, finishes in 14th. False IU finishes in 15th, and Dylan coming across the final corner now, finishing in 16th position. I know it's still 1.4 seconds away. G. Cromer jumps Chris By in the final standings, probably due to the impact of penalties. Of course, that will reflect later in the final standings. But G. Cromer, a first F1 podium, RL podium, I should say, for G. Cromer. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. That's not the right thing to say. He's probably older than me in real life. Ninja Zero also coming across the final turn now. Electric. Oh, Ninja Zero leapfrogs 2 drivers, moving up to 6th position because of his lack of penalties. No more PP finishing in 9th position. Altair finishing out the points positions in 10th place, but keep an eye out for Faizan. He might get ahead of Altair because of penalties. Faizan coming across the line now. Does he get ahead of Altair in terms of penalties? No, he doesn't. Stays in 11th position. And Profit and Captain Cheesecake will obviously keep their positions because they are too far away from drivers ahead or behind them to really benefit from any penalties, but we will keep an eye on them. Profit comes across the line, finishes in 12th. Captain Cheesecake comes across the line, finishes in 13th position. Tanish has left the session, but what a race that was for Maranello Baby. Congratulations to G. Cromer on his first RRL podium. Magnificent drive from him. Unlucky, Captain Cheesecake should also have been there up alongside everyone else, but I think he encountered a front wing issue. But once again, the all-dominating number 49 Renault takes over the session, completely destroys everyone, starting in 16th and finishing in 1st. I think it might be Tiamat Marduk in disguise. I think this last to first thing, I think Maranello might be recording this, putting it on YouTube and saying, ha, all these amateurs, last to first in the league race, getting millions of views and getting a lot of big bucks through YouTube ad revenue. I'm just kidding, obviously. But thank you guys very much for watching. This is the final race classification as it stands. Maranello Baby, our out and out winner by nearly 10 seconds. But keep in mind, he was the only driver that went on a two-stop strategy, not a double strategy, excuse me. Rrl SD, his IRC friend, picks up the 2nd place in the McLaren. G. Cromer, for the first time ever, a brilliant race from him. Only 1 3-second penalty, which is what differentiated him from the rest of the drivers. Going to go ahead and take some screenshots here. Not really going to be necessary because the other drivers will obviously take screenshots as well. But thank you guys very much for watching. I'll go ahead and say goodbye, and you can enjoy some Sebastian Vettel in our outro as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you very much to Vortex as well, who kept me on my toes and let me identify all the important incidents and overtakes as they came. Thank you guys very much for watching.